Bird app here. All right.
I got battery, right? Hang on. Yeah, I think I do. Let me get my charger just to get 1 second.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
All right. So we are officially live. That's fine. So get this set up. And all right. All right. Oh,
I just realized I can't charge and do this at the same time with the headphones.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm just gonna rock the headphones. It might last all the way through, but then if not, I'll just pull it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm in like a closed environment, so it's the audio is pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. That's all right.
So,
we'll just blame Fauci if we lose you. That's just the way. That's just the way it is.
No, I'll plug in. I'll plug in before I lose battery. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So shit. So we got a couple people watching right now already. Already got the bat signal. Man. And
cool.
Yeah. So shit, dude. Like it was crazy. We were doing an episode on Monday, and like every time we do one in advance, some shit happens. You know what I mean? Like
I think that's like the law of for what we do. Yeah.
Yeah. They just want to catch us off guard.
So what happened?
Well, I guess so the Freedom of Information Act, I don't know how these emails got leaked. I know it was Freedom of Information Act, but it's I don't know. It's cleverly timed is all I'm saying. These Fauci emails from I think like as early as January of 2020 was what it was. There might have been some December ones, but as early as like January
before anyone here
had heard of it. I mean, I don't even think there was like the scary news of like, hey, look what's going on in China. Like, there wasn't even that kind of news yet. And then like let's see, I got a few of them here. There's 3,000 emails. Like it's kind of nuts. So if I missed something, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like, you didn't talk about that. What's that?
Yeah. Any government employee in their work emails has to disclose as long as someone properly asks for it with the correct paperwork. That's what FOIA is. So yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what Jonathan Latham's always dropping FOIA bars for like,
nice.
Like check out what this academic said about pesticides.
More like Goya beans bars.
Yeah,
these are Trump supporters that leak these emails. Yeah,
well put.
And but it's like, okay, where was this? Where was this when I don't know, like during COVID? I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like where were these emails? Like I just don't get why there's like why we're just getting them now. Like can you imagine if these emails hit like right when the Floyd rallies hit?
Man, that would have been too much for everything. Would have just broken down even more than it did. That's crazy. Yeah,
exactly. And like, so I'm just wondering what, like, that's why I get some of the skepticism behind like, oh, okay, what the fuck is this? Like, cause it's like, right now, like the damage is done with this.
Yeah.
But in these emails, like there's a couple of them. I'm not going to go in chronological order, like, but this is February 25th, 2020. This one's pretty good. I'll put it up on the screen. This one's pretty good. So fuck, jeez. fucking size 4 font, of course.
And it's
But,
all sideways like that. So when you zoom in,
yeah,
it's
I
like,
know.
oh, whoa.
Awful. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
awful. Just absolutely 75-year-old man put this up on Twitter. And so it says in multiple countries and regions of the globe, once a pandemic erupts, it is virtually impossible for any country to be free of cases. People need to understand that. You can mitigate the effects, but you cannot avoid having infections since you cannot shut off the country from the rest of the world. You simply can't do it.
Oh,
Also, you need to speak of the real and present danger of seasonal influenza every year. Do not fear of the unknown, i.e., pandemic of a new infectious agent. Distort your evaluation of the risk of a pandemic to your relative risks that you face every day. The only thing we can do is prepare as best as possible and do not yield to unreasonable field. Best, Tony. He just goes, I love the Tony. I love the fucking Tony.
Yo, man,
is he like that one? Now, here's my conspiracy theory is that I think he's like, he inserted a few of those in there where he's like, see, I told them we shouldn't have locked down. Like, yeah, like this was like it's actually timestamped like last month. You know what I mean? Like him doing
it's crazy, man. He was the original lockdown skeptic. He started the subreddit, and he's on there like, yeah, but you can't lock down the whole country. That's like that's like what we're saying, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, so somebody in the chat said, because we were saying why didn't these hit last year? So they would have said the libs would have found a way to excuse the content of the emails, but you know, yeah, but there would have been the emails, you know, like it's like libs can excuse anything, but like we were going off of like some real niche shit that you had to really dig up, like, and again, these probably wouldn't have spread like wildfire, but like the conservative news would have had it, and I think it would have helped around the election time, like, you know, I think it's fair to say, right? Yeah. Like I think it's fair to say, because we'll go more and more into it, but it really old Donnie definitely man, Donnie doesn't look as bad.
Berenson was saying, he was like, look, Trump got two of the most important things basically right. The whole the asymptomatic spread thing and the age stratification thing.
Yeah.
Right. Where he's like, yeah, it just does. Trump just would go out there and be like, it just does old people. Yeah, it's like whatever, you know. And so he nailed like the two important parts of the thing, which is kind of funny if you think about it. And he didn't even know he was right. He was probably just thought he was making it up himself, you know. But he just happened, you know what I mean? So that's crazy. And yeah, oh man, this is so juicy. And and everyone said like, who cares, bro? It's just fucking bougie, you know. It's like, what? Come on, dude. Like, what do you say?
Well, we'll get into that. That one, that's like, I want to just get to the meat of the emails, and then we're gonna go off, because that is driving me through the roof, I should say.
I figured it would. Yeah.
So this was on February 28th. This was another one. What Fauci was saying. This is just what he said in the New England Medical Journal. So this is also something I had never seen before too. So this isn't actually an email, but he's basically saying this is the case fatality rate may be considerably less than 1%. And it's more akin to severe seasonal influenza. It's like, that's what, like, that was the, like, the conservative troll was like, it's the flu. And he's like, no, it's the flu. And yeah, it's just,
where's Class Redux Killer with the air horn right now?
That was his bit, man. CRK was really hammering, because even I remember back then I was like, hey man, I don't know if it's the flu, you know. I was like, it might be a little more contagious. Well, it's so funny. The fucking flu, man. It's wild, dude. Like these things are wild. And like what was the other one? There was another one about the masks that I like too, that I really wanted to get into before we start getting into during the lockdown, because like the pre-lockdown ones are crazy, but like during the lockdown, he's like acting like there's not a lockdown. It's just fucking nuts, man. Let's see this one, and perfect, here we go. So this is let me see the date on this one. This is February 5th, 2020. So we're still a ways from lockdown. We're about a month into there. So I don't know who Sylvia Burwell is, but maybe it's Fauci's side piece. I don't know. But he said
you wouldn't know her. yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
she
cool
goes to a
enough to
different
know.
school. Yeah,
Yeah,
she goes to a different school. Yeah,
yeah.
but Fauci was hanging out in the bathhouses during
She
AIDS.
works. She works for a different lab.
Yeah, she works at Fort Detrick. You wouldn't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
and but
yeah.
so it says masks are. It says Sylvia, masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected, rather than protecting the uninfected people from acquiring infection. The typical mask you buy in a drugstore is not really effective in keeping out the virus, which is small enough to pass through the material. It might, however, provide some slight benefit to keep out gross droplets, like, oh, nice scientific term there, Fauci. If
No,
someone,
I think he did mean it in a
oh,
scientific.
does he? Oh, you mean like
Gross,
gross,
like net and gross, or like yeah,
oh,
like gross, like in size. Yeah,
oh,
he,
well, I like my version, honestly. Let's just say that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if someone coughs or sneezes on you, I
It's
do
fucking
not.
gross, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's fucking gross, man. Guy fucking sneezed on me.
Actually,
But
you're right. He probably did mean it.
yeah, it's
Let's
Fauci,
be real.
man. It's fucking Fauci.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he says, I do not recommend that you wear a mask, particularly since you are going to be going to a very low risk location. Your instincts
Yeah.
are correct. Money is best spent on medical countermeasures such as diagnostics and vaccines. There we go. There's the real Fauci there. It's
Last
like,
word. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
I fucking yeah. And it's cool. That one's cool. It doesn't hit as hard because he already had that 60 Minutes interview where he said that, you know?
but it kills the lib
It's
narrative of how they spun that. They're like, no. He was just saying he didn't want everyone to buy up the N95s. Remember, that was how they
that's right.
spun that.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
why. No, I believe he meant
Yeah.
that. It basically confirms that. It's just I remember when
This
we
is
would
him
bring
from a
that up.
scientific basis.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, yeah.
Yeah, when we would bring that up, he'd be like, no. People were going to go to the store, buy up the N95s. And then the medical facilities wouldn't have any for the nurses, essential workers and stuff. And it's like, no, that's not the narrative.
It's so funny how literally everything about this has been wrong. Like remember the ventilators, the fucking mask, like it's not even like half the shit. It's like everything, every aspect of it. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get
love
it. Like, I don't get it. So again, like, that more often then we get to the March emails. Let's see this one. Oh, this is probably my favorite one. And I don't think this is everyone else's favorite one, but we get to March 18th, right? I think that's like right when the shelter in place in the Bay Area hit. It was like right around that time. Like we were doing road construction. They kicked us off the road. They were just like, your job's done. They're like, oh, there's an open trench in the road. They're like, whatever, it's fine. And yeah,
everyone else is at home too.
You have an open trench on your mouth where COVID particles could get in. So what's worse here?
Wear a mask.
So this is Fauci going to John Brous. Don't know who that is either. So he says, I understand that South Korea has been administering hydroxychloroquine, a treatment for malaria, to her citizens that have been contracted coronavirus. Is America considering this drug to help lessen the symptom of the virus? This drug may not prevent anyone from getting ill, but it could be a viable treatment to speed the recovery of the individual afflicted with this disease.
When was this? This was
March 18th. Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
How
Who
that one's nuts, man.
That's right before they got to him then, because they must have just been like, yo, you can't talk about that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you understand why Trump was clearly just flabbergasted when people didn't he's like, what the fuck, dude? I thought we'd like this shit. Like, you didn't CC me on that email that said don't talk about that.
He probably the next day he said, he's all like, yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my God, fuck that.
Dude, poor Trump, man. They really they did him dirty on this whole thing. That's funny.
Yeah. Dude, it's like I will say, I remember when we were really starting to truth it out, you know what I mean? COVID truth and shit. I remember still saying man, Trump really fucked up, you know what I mean? Like, he's still not good. Like, he still wasn't doing it, but it's like, dude, his fucking strategy is matching Fauci's. Like, it sounded like he listened to Fauci.
Well, that's the thing. There's no that's it right there. That's where it departed from the manufactured thing, was that thing right there. Is your background Fauci with the
It's
flag?
Fauci. Yeah. No, it surely is Fauci.
You make some good backgrounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I always got to do that. Yeah, we got to get you up on the background.
I look up that first pitch. I'll Google search that 4 times a month. It's just I'm just fantastic. I got to see this shit. Man. It's so great.
And we're gonna go to his other drug. Let's see. He said this one's pretty good. he was actually, this is, I don't know if he ever recommended it, but this is somebody emailing to Fauci. This is Dr. Josh, was it Dr. Josh Backen? He says to Fauci's CC'd on this email. He's emailing everybody. He's like, I found this wonder drug, guys. He says,
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for 3 potent antiviral agents, cheap and readily available. And they're like, I'm out. Like Shark Tank, I'm out. Cheap and readily available. For that reason, I'm out. Yeah.
He looks up from the notepad.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Mark Cuban. Yeah. Mark Cuban's like, look, I love your story. I love where you come from. But I have some
just don't see
questions
a viable
about the availability and the cheap part of it.
Yeah.
He says they're cheap and readily available that may prevent viral shedding. No viral shedding, no infectivity. The concept is that everyone should take these items. 2 of the items also positively affect heme binding. Is that heme binding? Okay, yeah. And yeah, okay. COVID-19 binds to heme, causing O2 desaturation, lung failure, and death. First, a short bio. It says chloroquine, and then he gets to ivermectin, and then there's one other one that I hadn't heard of and stuff. So he was recommended that, and then I think there's another email, and I couldn't find it. I forgot to bookmark it, where Fauci was saying like, yeah, ivermectin's solid. I kind of like hydroxychloroquine a lot more. Like he was power ranking him. And then the like, I just picture like Fauci probably just has a secret, like I was telling you, like the bulk candy aisle like thing, like ivermectin that he just crunches up, and he just
it's like right next to the macadamia nuts, and the fucking it is.
So do you really think it's like they didn't? So like, was it truly just a money thing why those drugs weren't, or do you think they really wanted to prolong this? Like why those drugs weren't implemented?
All of it. I mean, definitely the money was a huge factor. But no, I mean, well, just look at the ivermectin story. I gotta say, like, I heard about ivermectin. I'm like, yeah, cool, like another cool dumb thing. Because I'm like on the vitamin D hype, and like, we could do this shit naturally, with ease, I think. Pardon me.
Well, yeah. Sorry, go on.
But no, with the ivermectin, I gotta shout out Brett Weinstein, who's, I think is one of the cooler of those dudes in that whole group or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, he's been, man, his last like 3 podcasts have just been so banging on the ivermectin thing, and it is a crazy story. Let me tell you, first of all, it's way more effective than even the COVID truthers believe, right? Mm-hmm. It's hella effective, like we talked about it a little bit before, but it is, you could take it for like 4 days and you're good for like 2 months for a lot of people, it's crazy. For like, that's like what, like $2 or $5 or something, and you look at just the cases like places like India, like states like Goa that did do ivermectin are like totally fine. And ones that the remdesivir, the one that he latched on to, Fauci, which is like a couple grand per treatment, and it's less effective. Yeah. So just anyone who's listening, like the type of guy that we're dealing with here is willing to jump ship in face of evidence. So like ivermectin, we gather evidence that it's better for COVID than anything we've discovered in terms of like on the shelf medication type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he switches up his recommendation. You know what I mean? That like, that's sociopathic shit, right? He just has handlers that decide this, because the money thing's a huge part. That's definitely the impetus, the main thing. But it's just bonkers. It's so like that's who we're like. Okay, lib, you're worried about COVID. This guy you're defending is the reason more people are dead and not alive because of COVID, because of the guy that you fucking stand and put on your magazine covers and all those dumb candles and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's insane. Like the guy sold you out down the river. Like he was more okay with you being dead from COVID than than losing money on like a brand new drug treatment. Uh-huh. And of course the vaccine thing is in there too, but just the prophylactic itself. And here's the thing is like what this doctor on Weinstein's was talking about was saying that once you have COVID, with the illness, COVID-19 is when you're in the hospital with it, it's not like you're totally fucked with the virus. Like they say a lot of times you can't even culture the virus once you're sick with it. By that time you're already fucked. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's really about the effect it's having on your body and the blood tissue, especially that the heme binding shit they're talking about, right? That's why it travels to your lungs and heart and stuff. And yeah, it's just a crazy. I mean, it is a crazy disease. It is like there are parts that are novel and there are parts that are just like a fucking flu, so it's kind of both, and it's definitely, it's like the death rate is like way overhyped and everything. It does kill people. No one's saying it doesn't, right? That's the thing. It's just, but it's always the treatment is the thing that they're trying to get the most expensive shit for the least efficacy,
right?
Because then if they nip it in the bud, they can't move product. If this hits 40 grand people instead of 500,000, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just so funny how watching this happen in real time. Like when we look back, it'll be like a Bitcoin trade. You're like, oh, of course it crashed there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks obvious in hindsight, Whereas like this, like, it's the same thing you see in real time. Everyone getting bamboozled to take this fucking vaccine and everything. It's crazy, man. It's totally wild. But yeah, Fauci sold the guy down the river, which is funny because he's done this like twice before in history. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
It's not even like.
So what was the AIDS thing? So the AIDS thing, I know that there were clinical trials. Wasn't it clinical trials? Story. But weren't there clinical trials with like a certain drug, like an AZT? Was that what I'm?
Yeah. So same story. He picked the dumb drug instead of the cool one that actually works.
Yeah.
He's in the history books as backing the wrong horse when it comes to the aid drug. And it's like, and there were people. They were like,
I would hate to take gambling advice from that guy. Like, oh,
just counter trade. That's the move, dude.
Yeah,
you just
you're right.
Yeah, move the pile over. Yeah.
Oh, so Johnny M says my boy Crypto going full camera in the car mode. Yeah, he's doing Jim Trump videos.
We didn't even we were talking about this before. Yeah. No, I hate to like defend or make excuses, but this is like the only place you can get Wi-Fi and like
it works. It sounds good.
Yeah,
I can't hate. Yeah, I mean it's
I actually have the sun. I could put the sunglasses on too. That'll take it up. That's like cherry on top.
Do it. Definitely.
Yeah.
You should have gone sleeveless shirt. If you had sleeveless shirt, sleeveless shirt would have worked. Exactly. Dude. Second Amendment.
Look at we got a fucking car video and an American flag.
And COVID truthing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're apolitical, and
people are gonna pick this. They're gonna be like, "Look at these fucking alt right."
That's fine.
It's so funny, dude.
Okay. More like right, alt right, because we're right. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. And
it's so crazy, man. Like they're wrong about everything. It's like the more I look back, I'm like every fucking thing they had to flip flop on.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck.
And
okay. And it's not it's not even all it's not even all in yet. We don't even know if the vaccines, the medicines, and all that stuff. Like it could be more shit coming down the pipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So the AIDS. I'm sorry, I derailed you from the AIDS thing.
Well, that's all I know about it, really. But I do know that there were people protesting him in the '80s. Like it was a big like gay scene. Like anti-Fauci signs and shit. It was hella funny.
He was like lumped in with Reagan. It was like Reagan and Fauci wiped out all the gays. Like what I mean?
So what I know about Fauci, I know about that about him, and I know he recommended was it the swine flu or the
cholera
H1N1?
There was cholera too. He in Haiti he had an issue with cholera as well.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
He's on the record as backing the vaccine that gave people permanent narcolepsy in the 2008. And
he had another thing, and of course Google's giving me like all the lib things. Did Fauci save cholera? Like it's some shit. Yeah, it's some other stuff. I should have looked up that one. But so the next one, then this is going to get controversial because the next one, this seems to be an issue, and this is where I want to get into the reaction to a lot of this stuff. This is about the lab leak in Wuhan. So this is from Peter Daszak. So he thanks Fauci for helping cover up the lab release from Wuhan Institute of Virology.
What?
So he says, as the PI of so Tony's CCing David, he's just doing like email talk. I work in construction. These emails are weird to me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I like it's like reading stock charts to me and shit.
That's some people's jobs is just to
Yeah,
do
I
emails.
know.
That's so fucking nuts.
Horrible. Yeah, and those are the people who took COVID seriously, were the email people. And he says, as the P1 or PI, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's P1 or PI of the R01 grant publicly targeted by Fox News reporters at the presidential press briefing last night, I just wanted to say a personal thank you on behalf of our staff and collaborators for publicly standing up and stating that scientific evidence supports a natural origin for COVID-19 from bat to human spillover. Is that like farm to table, bat to human? and not a lab release from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Redacted, fat ass, look like a fat paragraph. I love the redacted parts of it. And he says, from my perspective, your comments are brave, and coming from your trusted voice will help dispel the myths being spun around the virus origin. Once this pandemic's over, I look forward to thanking you in person. So maybe he didn't exactly cover it up there, but let's talk about the lab leak. Why nobody believes us now? Nobody believes us now, dude. Like these, like it's so weird. We're cringe. We're normies because we think it leaked from a lab.
Man, it's so like okay. It's one of two things, and like I guess one's better. That one's bad, and one's a little better, I guess. But the is like, are people on Twitter? Are they just so reactionary to where they're just going to take the opposite stance of like whatever, you know? Is it like, is it just like hipster takes? Is this what's happening now? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like either like you don't think about this, or you don't have any like principles on how you guide. It's fine. Like some people have always been skeptical of the lab leak, even if they were, you know what I mean? Even if they thought other shit was bullshit. I'm not talking about like them, you know. I think some people, not everyone was like on board with the lab leak, you know.
Yeah.
But the people that are like mainstream media is talking about it now, ipso facto, it's fake. It's actually natural now. It's like that's your metric. That's your only, you know, there is such a thing as like rats jumping ship, and there's such a thing as using a card when you're dealt with it, playing the hand you're dealt, right? And so that's all I think is happening here. You know, I think it's pretty clear. Man, I don't know. It came from a fucking lab, right? And it's like, it's just, I think I'm not a biologist or anything, and I know we'll have Latham on to talk about this more, hopefully. But it's like, from what I can understand, when they say it came from a natural origin, and they say, here's our evidence, it's not really evidence. It's not very good, you know.
No.
When lab people say it came from lab, they're like, oh, look at this like insertion site and this deletion, and you know, and it's like this could have only happened by this amount of chance and everything. They've thought about it way more. The other people, they're the ones like covering their tracks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now, whether it was gain of function or not, you know, it definitely passed through a lab, you know, and I do think it was gain of function, you know, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But regardless, okay, let's say it's not. Let's say it did come from nature. We still have to stop this dumbass gain of function research and like shut down these labs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Are you pro? It's like, dude, we got to save the labs, guys. We can't have misinformation.
Yeah,
like
save the labs.
I don't get that. And the origin.
But the crazy thing is though, is like if it did happen, the best way, I mean, not the best, but the most hilarious way it could have happened is if Fauci funded backdoor gain of function research literally led to the creation of COVID-19, which escaped the lab. That'd be the most hilarious thing to ever happen. You know, that's awesome. You know, that's fucking, And then they spent a whole year telling you you're crazy if you think that happened, and telling you to wear like double masks and all this bullshit, and locking down billionaire class, doubled their wealth. Everyone else got cut in half, and you know what I mean? It's like, so I don't know, man. It's just, it's the people that flip flop on the issue, but also what we talked about earlier, the don't cares, like, so what, you know, or like the fact that you care about this means something about you, that you know you're not thinking about this in the right way or something.
Well, and here's the other thing that I just seeing where people are thinking. There are people, and I'm not gonna name names, but it's like the fucking, like, we get lumped in with like post left shit, and it's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, I definitely don't fuck with the left, really. Like, so it's like, all right, if that's what we're gonna if that's what we're gonna
It's
go
just
with, that's fine. Yeah, like if
it's just
like that's fine.
common
Like
things
I have
we all
critiques of the
observe.
left. If that makes me
Yeah.
post left, I'm not gonna run from the label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there are some of these people that are now just like, oh, look at these people falling for the old Fauci trick. Like now you're gonna blame Fauci. Now you're gonna, do this.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
really the
That's what I'm
elites are
saying.
going crazy. First off, you didn't give me another name to blame, by the way. Like, second off, there's no like
Yeah.
you don't even know who to tell me about now. Like now we're libs now because we,
No, that's
it's so fucking
It's when
stupid.
it's that whole like thing when you're especially like people online or on Twitter, and it just gets like tighter and tighter of like the takes that you're like, oh, you believe that? Well, I'm actually gonna position in this square. And it just gets so, rather than just being like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh, that's something that's real. That's important.
Yeah.
Like and I get I get it. Like there's a huge economic crash that was coming, virus or not. They used it for cover, you know. This is a specific zoned in. Well, I'll say like I'm not a fucking communist, I'm like a science guy. I like all these scientific conspiracies and shit. That's my thing,
Yeah.
That's like all that I love, I'll get learning, about like natural cures and like how the FDA is corrupt and all that, just like basic basic shit like that. So when people are like, actually, like this isn't pertinent to like the communist view of this and what Marx would have, I'm like, that's cool. Like I think I'm hella interested in this lab leak, and I think that's super interesting. And it's actually, when you put it all together, it actually has direct ties to everything. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And like to me, like so somebody's saying, I'm having trouble finding it, but Johnny M saying in the chat that on page 2286 of Fauci emails, it basically confirms it's lab made. But some people, I think some people think these are being drummed up right now. You know what I mean? Like these are being drummed up right now to just throw one man under the bus, which could be, but like
scapegoat.
Here's the thing. They're saying like these post-left fucking people that just have to like contort everything into like being the only people that believe one thing. And if too many people believe one thing, I have to be contrarian to that thing. Which to me is like, first off, where were you? When did you start talking about COVID? These people, I'm like, like, where were you? You spent all last year trying to take down Chapo. You know what I'm saying? Which that's fine. Like, I don't like them either, but it's like, stick to that. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But like, I would rather have, because my goal of like what we do, we're online. That's fine. We talk to a lot of people online, but I want to get like the normies kind of pilled. You know what I'm saying? So I want normies to hate Fauci. That's fine. That's a gain for like public consciousness, is that we hate Fauci, because for fucking a year, people worshipped him.
And you can't put that genie back in the bottle once it's out. It'll unravel like a thread. It's not everyone's gonna be on some fucking research shit like we are, and stuff. But
you are, and I'm not even on there. We just talk to great people. Like and you do your stuff too. Yeah.
Well, it's just crazy to me. Yeah, we do have to be careful of like a fall guy and everything, and regardless of what this would have happened, regardless of what the thing we call COVID, they were planning something, and they had to cover the tracks somehow. I think they just leap at these opportunities, and I mean, Fauci is the perfect scapegoat. He's the guy. He's the fake doctor on TV in the White House guy. That's his job. Like that's not surprising, or like you know what I mean? Or even that's obvious,
Yeah.
And
I saw one good comparison somebody made. I think it was Slothrop, our guy on Twitter. I think he made a really good comparison to so Fauci, and if Fauci is the fall guy, he's like General Petraeus, David Petraeus, like fucking Iraq War. It makes a lot of sense. Like, and if he is the fall guy, how many people do you know that have spent the last year, like us, just engulfed by this stuff? The last year and some change. Are we going to stop at Fauci? Absolutely not.
No.
You know what I mean? Are we going to be like, wipe our hands? We're done, guys. Like that's it. Yeah. We got Fauci. It was all about getting Fauci out of there. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't make sense to me. You're not doing science. Like you're basically just trying to zig while everyone zags. We talked about that, like with the aliens, the same thing. Like just, you're trying to,
and it's
and maybe honestly, if your brain works in that way, maybe the media is trying to psyop your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
like it's like oh, now we're gonna plant this to make him think it's this, and it's like, yeah, maybe they're going after you. Maybe your big brain, gigantic brain doesn't even fit on a Zoom screen. Yeah,
and I think the it's erroneous. It's very erroneous. It's like manufacturing consent is. It's not saying that the media will always lie about one particular thing forever. They'll push it off into the future until they have to face it, and by that time the damage is done. That's what's happening here, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
they're just pushing this into the future, and like now they can talk about it, and yeah, shit will come out. But it's already, everyone's already been brainwashed, psyoped. It's already, you can't. What's that old saying? It's easier to fool a man to think than to convince him he's been fooled.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's what I think is happening. It's not just because the media is saying it's true now doesn't mean that it is fake. All the, I don't know.
And the damage is done. The damage is done.
That's what I'm saying.
We're done. Like I'm not saying we're done. Like, I'm sure they're going to try to get some more legs out of this, but the elites, the people that we're scared of, have gotten what they wanted.
They already did the final withdrawal.
Jeff Bezos ain't gonna come down because of COVID. He's not gonna fucking suffer from Fauci going under for this. No. Jeff Bezos ran away. Like, they can't sacrifice this. I get what people are saying, but it's like, that is not. It's the ultimate straw man. It's the same way people like the straw man where people are against the lab leakers. It's the same way they argue against the Fox News narrative as if people like us are pushing the Fox News narrative. Fox News is saying this is a Chinese bioweapon. It's not. It's ours.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the
that's not my argument. And people keep saying, like, why doesn't it kill people then? Why is it not, super much stronger than the flu and stuff? I go, it didn't have to be.
Yeah.
We locked down because of it. You had a media machine behind it. You had people, right? Like the masks, right? Why were the masks important? Because the mask is a way to let somebody know your politics from like 100 feet away from you without ever talking to you.
That's the only thing it was for. Yeah.
That's the only thing it was for. Clearly, Fauci says it. I mean, it's like, it's clearly what it was for. It was a signifier. It was an election year. It was a great way to find out if you're around Trump voters or Biden voters.
That's a big part of it. The election year too. That's such a, man. It all just came together so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Don't make. That's what. Yeah. People make a big deal about, like, is it China or U.S. or it is the neoliberal elite coming together. No borders, no anything like that. Yeah, I'm sure the CCP is involved, and and they're bad actors and everything. But it's like, you don't have to.
The Car Crash podcast? Are you kidding me? Huh? They're here. They're involved. The CCP Car Crash podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ed? No. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but it's just so, I don't know. It's just so weird how, if that's your level of conspiracy, that you're like, this country is doing this one thing. It's like, it's some basic shit.
Yeah. So another question in the chat. You guys think that the virus was released on purpose or on accident? I can't say purpose. I can't. I want to. My brain's there. But science-wise, we haven't seen the proof that it was on purpose. If somebody drop it in the chat. If something in the emails, let me know. Put a link in the chat or something. Like if you saw something.
Yeah, how could you possibly prove it's impossible to prove now. I think, obviously it could have been released on purpose. But I guess my take is that I think I mentioned this before, that it was probably an accidental release, but they had the playbook ready to go. They were just like, literally, they're like, oh, in this moment we do this. This is what happens basically. And that's why it looks like, it's kind of like my moon landing take, how like they went to the moon, but the footage was faked. So both are true. That's my vibe. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and what I would say is, so look at these other viruses that got leaked, like swine flu. We couldn't lock down during the swine flu. We didn't have the infrastructure tech-wise. We didn't have DoorDash. We didn't have Amazon Prime. We didn't have any of that stuff when those things hit, right? So I'm thinking a lot of these, that's a case for me to say that it's purpose, if almost, right? Like, these do get released on purpose. But this one was like, all right, this is the big one. That's a case for me to say, like, in my head, like, maybe it was released on purpose. But I have to look into this Fort Detrick thing. People keep sending me stuff.
Shit about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess they're saying that was another like gain of function lab out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And and there's like there was a murder, like a big murder there, like not long ago and stuff. Like, and what I would say is there was one of our listeners was sending it to me, and I was kind of saying like, okay, in your opinion, I was at work, I wasn't able to like deep dive into it, but like I was like, in your opinion, could both? Yeah, I know, right? Could both be true? Like, could there have been simultaneous gain of function labs that are just like, you know, because then you start getting into intentional mode there.
Latham, in a private conversation before, he told me, he's like, look, like it's kind of fucked with my head a little bit. Like, I still think of this. He's like, technically there's no limit to the amount of pathogens that can infect humans. And I was just like, oh shit,
that's comforting and awesome. Thanks, John. Yeah.
I was like, I'm not sleeping well lately.
Yeah, dude, I know. And no, I it's exactly, it's like, because that's where people get messed up. I see some people, like we've had some people kind of push back on us, like people will send me stuff and go like, come on, man, you know that shit was on purpose. It's like, in my head, I'm there, you know what I'm saying? Like I trust me, I just, like, you can't just say shit like that though. Like, I mean, that's when you get in trouble. That's when you get the Alex Jones Sandy Hook shit. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know that, like, you say that. I'm not saying we have that audience, we don't. I'm just saying, like, it's just like, you can't just be like, yeah, I think it was this. It's like, well, look, that I think it was on accident. And not that it was on accident. I think Jonathan Latham, when he was saying that viruses are developed in level 2 security, which in these emails they're confirming it's level 2 security as well on a lot of stuff. And in Fort Dietrich emails I was looking at, and some of the stuff, they were saying that it was a like level 2 security thing. So maybe it's an intentionally low security thing where they're like, hey, if it slips out, it slips out, man. You know what I mean?
That's like, kind of what Latham was talking about in our episode. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where he was like, look, like all level 4s are acting like level 2. He's just like, it's like, just subtract like 1 or 2 notches. Like,
exactly. Yeah. And there is a have you seen the vape lung thing for COVID?
Oh God. My worlds are colliding.
It's so there's some stuff. Now I again, another thing I got to do a deep dive in, but a lot of people were sending it to me that there was like a big vape injury thing, and a lot of people thought it was like a false flag to ban like Juul pods and stuff.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
People were like getting like fucked up ass lung things. Like, now I am not an X-ray technician, I'm not a doctor or anything, but like, you put them up with like COVID lung, it's like the same thing.
What?
Yeah, like
what is it? So what does that mean?
Well, they're saying was COVID just released a long ass time ago?
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So that is crazy. They knew something was up and they just cover in. That's so wild, man.
Like I know, and again, I am not. That is not a take I'm attaching to my name right now. I'm just saying.
Taleb started vaping when he heard that. He was just like,
well, dude, like, can you imagine, like, if you were just like a Republican that did a lot of Juul pods? Like, it was a horrible year for you. Like, horrible, like, last couple of years and stuff. Like, you got Juul pods basically banned. Yeah, and all that, like, lung X-ray. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's. Let's see. They just give me all the normie shit, but like, let's see. This is kind of a off-brand fucking site, but yeah, it's. Let's see. Let's see what this gives us. This is from antmini.com. That doesn't sound. It sounds like a site I like, but a site that like libs wouldn't like. So March 26, COVID-19 and electronic cigarette or vaping product associated lung injury may share many features on CT scans, but the imaging, so they're saying it's not quite the case. So yeah, like, the person who sent it to me was saying like, look, and I'm just like, well, fuck, I don't know, like, but
yeah,
hey man, I don't know, like, like I thought I had this shit in like December, dude, no joke.
Yeah,
like, I had this weird ass cough, like just like, what I feel like shit. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like oh, I'm sick. It felt like just like, what the fuck is this? And I vape. Yeah. I mean, I weed vape, which is, not the same, but.
And well, maybe that's why we all have the fucking antibodies, like they say, it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like Latham said, he said they were pulled it out of the, like, in his theory or hypothesis he drops, he's like, they It came from 2012, from the actual bat, before
Yeah,
they started doing the.
bat
That's a
feces in the
long.
mine shaft.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
long time ago, and it infected. It made people sick. It made miners sick back then. So
Uh huh.
it was dangerous before. Like, who knows what the fuck? This is crazy. What if there's like all these variants and every, like usually we clown the variants, but it's like maybe this just dropped like 5 years ago and no one knew.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an art project. It's like,
It's
yeah,
the
it's a
science. It's
fucking,
the science. It's the astronaut meme. Like it's
yeah,
always
yeah,
been here, always was. You know what I
always,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's
wild. Yeah.
yeah. I don't. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, the thing I like. Okay, what I'm trying to. I think we said this on Fed Post when we were on there, but like the whole 2 weeks to slow the spread. What was that that couldn't have been actually the plan, right? Like, you know what I mean? When people say 2 weeks,
Yeah.
let the hospitals, because like now it's like you need a vaccine to go outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Not even though they're like, you
yeah,
do, but we're still not gonna let you go.
fucking
Yeah.
stupid, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because like I'm like 2 weeks and then what? You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the perfect.
It's crazy that Karen libs are like the actually the most dangerous thing. They're the first to jump in line and sell you down the river and everything. That's the crazy.
Hey, shout out to my Raider
Yeah.
Nation people tuning in on here. I get nervous when I see them, but they're like, "Hey, this shit's sick, dude." Like, I'm like, "Hey,
So,
all
yeah.
right, man. Hey, yeah." I'm like,
Well,
thanks, man.
I remember you saying, I was like, you're like, man, these Raiders fans, they can be rough on this shit. I'm like, I thought they'd be down, and you're like, nah, not all of
No,
them.
they're either all in or like lived out. So like the thing about
Yeah.
sports with COVID, people in real life not lived out. Sports people
Yeah.
on Twitter lived out.
Of course.
That's what it is. No, that's what it is. Like you talk sports with
Classic.
a lot of people, and they're just like, yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this shit's fake, dude. Like, like no. Here's my thing. Okay, I just want to with the emails, right? We bring it back to the emails, but his emails, though, you know what I mean? First off, here's a question: what's worse, the Fauci emails or the Podesta emails?
Oh, you're gonna make me.
What I mean, in your opinion, what is more compromising to us as people, to working people?
I mean, the Podesta emails were just way more like, there was some. I was just so, I want, like, if I could get to the bottom of one, it would be those. You know what I mean? Because it's like wanting to know, like if aliens exist. Like I want to know that on my deathbed or some shit. The Fauci ones is just like boilerplate. Like I kind of knew this was going down. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like it was. Yeah, that's just me though.
It does help you.
Yeah.
Like you're like, damn, we were right about like all this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like there was one where you're like, okay, I got that one wrong. You know what I mean?
So I was thinking about this today because what are we politically? We're just nothing. We're so torn into a million pieces now, and I was thinking like, man, it's so funny how the left.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody saying, what are the other emails? The Podesta. We're talking about the Hillary Clinton's emails, basically. Like
the walnut sauce and all the crazy spirit cooking shit.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see any pizza in the Fauci, man. I thought there'd be at least one pizza thing.
Do a control F, dude. Just do fucking
yeah, I know.
Drop that in there. 20
like combination pages from Costco, please. And I think you're right. I want to say it's these ones, but yeah, those Podesta fucking Hillary Clinton emails were off the hook, man. But so here's what I can say about this. I said this on Twitter the other day, but like I'm not the best writer in the world, man. Like people are always like, this doesn't make sense.
I disagree, dude.
No, people are like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, I'm not a writer. I'm not like, I'm not Alex G. Alex G is the GOAT at tweeting. So like
Alex
I'm not
Jones. Dude.
Alex GOAT. And
Alex Jones.
But the one thing I can say about this is it's done, right? COVID's done. We cannot do anything to stop the austerity. I think we could push back a little harder on the vaccination, but even then it's like, it's kind of tough. It's more of an individual thing at this point, like fight for your individual freedom in that point. But don't let them fool you again. It's all these emails can do. Just do not get fooled again.
Well, this one's an interesting one because it's not like like what we call a COVID truther is it shatters it's like tentacles in every little organization. because it's in people's minds. It's not really like a 9/11 thing where it was like a block of people that were like fucking fake, bro, or or it's the government did it, and like people were like, no, it was totally just by the story. And so this one is like, because it was so slow and so like it cultured in people's minds. You know what I mean? Like a fucking petri dish, like a COVID sample in a lab, and I feel that this one people will get fooled again, but a substantial percentage is totally pilled now, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I am like, but it was crazy. I'm like, man, like I wish more people in my family got it sooner. It's just kind of.
I think you're talking about COVID.
No.
Like, I was like, damn, man. Yeah, I think it's bullshit too. But yeah. Sorry.
The fucking Indian variant, dude. The Brazilian variant, the bad one.
That's the Bossa Nova. Bossa Novid, and the
strain from Impanita, dude.
Yeah. But no, I just that's my thing, because they're gonna try this again. It's absolutely a thing now.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if it's gonna be a disease next. I think that's gonna be down the road. The next shit is the cyber pandemic shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the next thing. Don't
Big
fucking
time.
stay. No one should convince you to stay inside if you don't want to stay inside. Problem is we have a lot of people who like staying inside.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this was the perfect storm. There were too many willing participants who were like, for real, I get to just work from home and not wear pants.
I'm guilty, man. I'm like, oh shit, I can like trade all day now. It's like one of those fucking it's totally, man. Yeah. But it's weird. Yeah.
I know.
Never going back to normal. It's like there's always going to be a class of people that are going to like stay inside or whatever. It's crazy.
Exactly. And I think you're right. I think we're going to get like the like how people have the PMC, like it's going to be like the inside C.
Yeah.
Just like we don't go outside. Like we have underground tunnels that we go to the store in, like just shit like
so
that.
Cool.
Yeah, like it's gonna suck, man. Like I just don't fall for it, man. Like here's the other thing. People are scared that we're just pinning this on one guy. It's just Fauci. Don't ever trust the CDC again. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
As a whole. Don't trust the WHO, don't trust the CDC.
Yeah. I'm with it. Yeah.
I mean, you never did. I'm just saying it to myself.
Yeah. No, it's fucking I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the next thing that happens and how people react, and if people will come, and the books that will come about this, and just it's going to be like living in two different worlds. We're like splitting into two different worlds. Yeah.
Fauci had an email too where he was like talking to somebody about like making a movie about himself. Like, what a fucking beta. Like, he's like, you want to make a movie about me? Like, I think we could really parlay this into the thing. Like,
he's like, oh man, that's dope. But could you? He's
like, yeah, I think Timothy Chalamet should play me, and then Christian Bale in my 40s, and then and then I'm thinking George Clooney now. Like he's
got a list. He's got a short list. He's got a fucking
He's like, I'm pretty sure we could go that route. He's like fucking 5'3" and
what a fucking psychopath, dude.
I know, dude. The narcissism of libs, man.
The guy that got paid to choose the less effective drug for two of the biggest crises in or what we've called crisis. Like COVID, it's different. But AIDS and COVID, right? Where he's back the wrong horse,
and then also remember, like, people seem to forget about this. Remember when Israel just gave him $1 million?
Yeah, dude, you love that, dude. You're always bringing that up. Me too, though.
We gave Israel money in the COVID stimulus, and then they funneled it back to Fauci.
That's so
fucking
rad,
rocks, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
that's rad.
If I was a corrupt politician, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be like,
and no one can like ask for it back or question it. It's like it's gone.
Like, he's like, I wouldn't say it's exactly liquid cash that I have right now. I don't exactly have it for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Somebody said I saw a guy earlier today wearing a full-on respirator and plastic gloves to go into a grocery store. I saw that too. I was going in to get a pizza, and the dude outside had gloves on, and he had the mask with like the actual full face respirator with like the fucking things on the top. And I was like, is this guy gonna do graffiti like right now? Like what? What's going on? Like I look. It just is this Project Mayhem, so like fucking Fight Club? Like what is going on? Like it's insane. I'm like, still.
Yeah.
I'm like, still, dude, like, just, And look, I mean, some people, oh yeah, I have like 3 autoimmune people in my family, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, even like, I'm sorry, like asymptomatic spread is bullshit, dude. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like it, like we knew that early, like that it was bullshit.
So fucking, yeah. So dumb, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I just even if you didn't suffer, even if you didn't, lose any money during the pandemic, like I didn't really lose like
Yeah.
anything super crazy during the pandemic, but like I lost a lot of people around me's mental health, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
that's what sucks, man. I have friends where I'm just
Mhm.
like, dude, your brain is rotten. Your
I'll,
brain
I'll be
is
honest, man. I was doing pretty all right for most of it, and then once the vaccine stuff started to hit,
yeah,
and it was like questionable, like whether like can you go outside of your state? Can you go to another country?
yeah.
And then I started being like, oh, fuck, man. I thought like just when I thought we were over, and then I was like, I can't deal with this yet. And I had a little depression from that
Dude,
for sure. Yeah,
California is so fucking libtarded, dude.
it's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
news flash, but yeah, the
Yeah,
like what my work's doing, and this isn't what my work's doing. This is the county that I live in. What they're doing is every 14 days you have to fill out paperwork to say whether you're vaccinated or not, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they give you 5 choices. It's like I've gotten 1 Pfizer shot, I've gotten
yeah.
1 Moderna shot, I've gotten 2 of each shot. I'm fully vaccinated. I've gotten fully vaccinated 1 Johnson & Johnson. It says not vaccinated or don't care to answer. I picked don't care to
Damn.
answer, right?
Boom.
I mean,
Yeah,
my
there we
boss
go.
literally knows like I'm not getting it. Like
Yeah,
just like God, I make jokes. I'm like, "What, are you gonna fucking put me in the concentration camp?" She's like, "No." Like,
yeah,
she's like, "No, this is some county bullshit." But
yeah,
it's like, so what is the? I don't know what they're doing because I
yeah,
think Newsom's opening up the state like on the 15th. So I'm thinking they're just trying to do like some census type shit. I
yeah.
hope like where they're
They're just
just
trying to
like,
get some numbers. Yeah,
yeah, I think they're trying to like do that,
yeah.
but
It's a political thing. Yeah,
yeah, but
it's a
then like
total.
the medical industry, if you choose not to get vaccinated, if you fall under like a medical or anything like that,
Yeah.
you have to go. You still have to do the like if you leave your county by 150 miles, you have to quarantine for 14 days, unpaid.
Okay.
Unpaid. If you just leave, not
Okay.
if you went to like anywhere, you just visited like one family
This is
member.
California? Holy shit.
Yes.
That is crazy.
And
That's
so
insane.
so
How
here's
do
the
they tell?
kicker.
How can they enforce that?
Yeah, I guess how they would enforce it is your employer say, "Are you taking time off?" Right, and you'd say, "I'm
Uh
gonna go." If you're a fucking retard, you tell your boss where you're going, and you tell them,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
yeah,
why?
no, I mean,
Yeah, dude,
then you slip
yeah,
up.
dude.
Fuck, I said I was going to Florida. Fucking reggae on the river, dude. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, dude.
and then you do
DeSantis.
that. No,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go to
yeah,
DeSantis guy, but
yeah,
and so somebody said my university is making all the students get it. I'm about to fake these papers, brah. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
hey
yeah.
man, hey,
I had
do
someone.
what you got to do, man. And I'm sorry, one more thing about
Yeah, yeah.
about the California protocol before I forget. With with this vaccine, they make you. So my work, right? They used to do the same thing. They said during like the height of COVID, they would say if you left the county, which is funny because we actually work outside the county like on a regular job sometimes. Like, so if
Yeah,
I go to work, you're saying, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like they go, we you leave the county, you you have to quarantine 14 days unpaid. But
Hmm.
my company said they'll pay you 3 days after your vaccine shot.
Okay.
I'm like, which is nuts, dude. It's like,
Yeah,
like, are you kidding
that's
me?
insane. Yeah.
Like so, and then yeah, I'm sorry, Biden has 1,000 black barbershops. I meant to say Biden has 1,000 black barbershops enlisted as vaccine sites. So,
Jesus
and
Christ.
they're
Oh my
trying to pay
God.
people to get it. Newsom's talking about money incentives, all types of shit
Yeah.
like that, man. So yeah, it seems to
Dude,
be
I'm like,
working.
yeah, bribe more. Give me more money. Yeah, give me all 5 figures. I'll start to consider. Yeah,
Would you?
maybe. I don't know. No.
Five? Five
Yeah.
figures?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, dude, it's so about principle to me now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I
I
didn't
know.
think I'd be
The
here.
fact that they're trying the fact that they're trying so hard is like,
Yeah,
no, you know.
and
Yeah.
I thought I'd fold.
Yeah.
Like I thought I would. Honestly, you probably thought I'd fold, huh?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't so sure. There's no with you. I wasn't so sure, but I wouldn't have been like surprised, but I would have been. Yeah, you know.
You'd have been disappointed,
And
huh? You'd have been like, motherfucker, huh?
not with you, because I know how you feel, but with it, because I don't know.
You'd be mad if I suddenly was like, "Hey, man, it's cool," right? Like you do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you were like, actually, it's like not that bad, I'd be like, shut up. I mean, shut up. Yeah, you got it. That's good. You don't have to make it cool. You know.
Got my Fauci
Yeah.
ouchie.
Yeah.
And the people at my work are like, and it's funny because like people at my work, there's like 5 people at my work that are like libtarded, that are like, I got it and I'm getting it and everyone needs to get it. One guy who's like, no joke, was like my best friend, one of my favorite coworkers ever. He's like, I'm making a list of everyone who's not getting the vaccine and they need to stay the fuck away from me. And I was like, well, why don't you fucking not work then?
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, there's only one way to, I know, I'm there. He knew it was me. I was like, well, all right, whatever, man. Like you don't even trust the product you got then. Exactly. That's the thing. Like that's a cell phone. Like, I'm sorry. So
total.
And we work like largely outdoors. So it's like, what are you so scared of? We work together the whole time. Like during COVID, unvaccinated. Fucking idiot. And but then like all the other people at work, like they're like, I got it. And like my boss was like, I got it. I'm gonna travel. And I hate that shit, man. I hate that, dude. I hate that I got it because I'm gonna travel. I'm sorry. Like, I get it if you haven't seen your family in a long time. If you don't live near your family, I understand. Whatever.
It's kind of a flex. It's kind of a flex. Like, I can afford to travel. You know what I mean? Like,
it's that, but it's like, dude, I don't think they can enforce these boosters.
Nah.
So they already said that this doesn't protect you for a year. Let's just fucking wait a little longer, man. Let's just wait a little bit longer. I don't think a lot of people who just reluctantly got this fucking vaccine, because they probably just don't think one way or another. They're just like, fuck it, I'll get it. I can go outside again. They probably don't think one way or another. I don't think they're going to be like going to fucking Walgreens to get the booster in 6 months. I think they're like, no, this was a one-time thing to get out of this shit. They're not going to be like, there's going to be like a third, like a sector of libs that are going to be like linking arms together, walking to Walgreens like it's Selma. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be that.
Yeah. So, yo, stay on the line. I gotta go fucking piss. But can you read some questions or some shit?
Yeah, exactly. Talk to me in the chat, guys. We'll do like 10, 15 more minutes on this. Talk to me in the chat. Let's see. So you'll do it for 5 figs, Johnny? 5 figs? Yeah. So what would those 5 figs be? Like, you gotta give me like an over under on how many figures that would be. Like, or I mean, it would be 5 figures, but like, are we talking 25K? Or are we talking like, closer to 90K? So yeah, no, the vaccine is fucking bullshit, dude. Like 95% efficacy for 6 months. It's like, dude, people are not going to keep getting these boosters. Like, I don't think people care enough about the vaccine. Like, a lot of loud people do on Twitter, a lot of loud people do on the internet. You know what I mean? But I don't think a lot of like everyday people give a shit about the vaccine. Like, I don't think they're going to be doing this. And yeah, I don't know. Nothing. I was asking if somebody said they'll do it for 5 figures, and I said, is that like 25K, or are we talking like 75K? Because that's a big difference. You know,
that's a big difference. Factor of 3, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, look, if you told me 100K, I might J&J it. I'm not gonna lie.
It'd be a risk benefit analysis. Like, how much fucking crazy like herb extracts could I buy with that money to?
Dude, we could start the RC compound with 100K, dude. No problem. No problem. The RC compound. I mean, like, we definitely could, like, and that'd be worth it to me. I'm sorry. Like, damn it, he said 10K. I'm hurting. I said, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, the transparency is welcome here. Like, I get that. But, yeah, fuck. I can't believe people actually fucking tuned into this shit, man. This is pretty cool, man. Hey, man, it's only a few.
Crazy thing, the Moderna thing with their 9 previously failed stage 3 vaccine trials, but this one's cool. This one's cool.
4th time's a charm.
Yeah, emergency use authorization.
Yeah, it's such a cope, dude. It's like the black barbershop thing was so interesting to me, because I was talking to one of my buddies. I don't think you'd want me to say who it is, but he is black, and he was saying, like, there's all these numbers, like the libs are doing this psychotic shit where they're like, black people don't have access to the vaccine. I'm like, literally everybody has access to the vaccine. You could go anywhere and get it. Like, there's no, like, it's you just walk into a building and someone could just fucking blow dart you in the neck with Moderna. Like, it's not like anybody can get you, and they'll be like, hey, come back in 2 weeks, I'll blow dart you again. And the
booster.
And and so what they're saying is, like, yeah, only 40% of like black people have vaccines or by POC or whatever the fuck it is, Latinx, whatever the hell qualifier they're using. But like maybe black people just don't trust the fucking medical industry, dude.
Yeah,
for good reason. Like
a
they keep saying they don't have
answer,
access. Like Spike Lee has a commercial. He's like, I'll come pick you up in a van and take you to Madison Square Garden where the Knicks play, and you can get a vaccine. It's like, shut up, dude. Like,
yeah,
like you're a fucking rich ass lib, dude. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like I just like maybe white people trust the medical industry. like
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, and like
that's our
Filipino
thing,
nurses.
That's our thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
I
mean, and it's not like there's not a cultural historical precedent.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and here's the thing about black barbershops, dude. I have long hair. I haven't cut my hair since we've started this podcast. Like, I'll admit that. But when I used to get haircuts, I used to go to like barber colleges that were like kind of black barbershops around there. They would do it for $5. Real nice fades and stuff. These were just guys that had to like put in hours. You know what I mean? So like they didn't really care about the money and stuff. I'm telling you right now, I didn't see a lot of pro-vaccine talk in the black barbershops. There was some fucking conspiracy theories. Like it was it rocks. I'm like, who are these barbershops? Like,
you know
what
it reminds me of?
Yeah. What's that?
Remember when Elizabeth Warren had the fake?
Yes. Yeah. I immediately knew what you were gonna say. Actually,
yes.
with the generic like Walmart or Marshall's jersey, like where it's not even a team.
Hanging with the plastic hanger on the wall. Dude, that was the best. They couldn't even. They spent like 5 minutes on it. Yeah,
I know, dude. I fucking
which is kind of insulting if you think about it.
I know. Oh, yeah. It's classic lib racism that like somehow like has like bloomin' onion like layers to it. You know what I mean? Because like right. No rules, just right, and like there's just so much to that shit.
I forgot that was the fucking motto, dude. It's so funny.
That's a classic Come Town bit. They always talk about that. Like, is like the guys from Outback aren't like Australian; they're just like Florida bros. They just started fucking the Outback. Like
that's awesome.
They've like never been to Australia. They're like, well, or Foster's and bloomin' onions. That's what we're serving. And
that is so funny.
It's crazy. Someone said that it's the black barbershops around the DC that are propped up by NGO money. I honestly, yes. And then I think like HBCU, I think like it's like, like historically black universities. I bet you like barbershops around there for sure. I mean, the place where Kamala Harris comes from, and a lot of like politicians and stuff like Howard and stuff. Like I could see that for sure. And but shit, man. Yeah.
That's funny.
Fuck, you got anything else? Any hot takes? Anything you want to lay out on the live stream? It is live, so they could get like the like Vouch where he's a pedophile and stuff. Like we could clip you saying some cool stuff.
Yo, why is that motherfucker like rising in fame? I do not get it, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy because like I'm not a cancel culture guy. I don't even think Vouch should be canceled or anything, but like shouldn't he be? Like from according to the rules.
He's like that guy. Like it's bred to. They cancel you for like fucking. I don't know. Like I forget. Like they cancel you for anything. Like on that shit. And I'm like, how does he not get canceled?
Yeah.
Everybody
I know, it's weird. There's no rules. Yeah, it's crazy.
No rules, just right. No, I mean it's it.
No, all I gotta say is I can't wait for the next week to bring crazy new shit. I don't know how you're living through this year and not being so bored that you like want to follow this close, you know what I mean? Where you're like they're forcing you to stay at home. You're not even curious about this shit. That's the crazy thing, I'm like fuck, I want to like figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I want to say one thing before we get out of here. This was fun. I'm glad we did this, but our next episode is going to have a guy named Spencer Latu on it. If you don't follow him already, his name is @Spencer Latu on Twitter. Follow him. The guy's fucking rocks. It was an awesome episode. Like awesome episode talking about, I mean, like we recorded it the day before the Fauci emails started, popping off, but we talked about a lot of stuff like cyber pandemic stuff and Great Reset and stuff like that. So that'll be out Monday. We recorded that on Memorial Day. So follow him. He doesn't have enough followers. That dude's awesome. So
no, he's so good.
If you guys don't already follow me, I'm pretty sure you guys came here from Twitter, but I'm at Glenn Rockney. He's at CryptoSci, Rare Candy Pod 1 on Twitter. Subscribe to the page if you don't already, man. You get everything with us. I mean, we like YouTube, I think, more than anything. I think YouTube, like our show, is best consumed on YouTube. So
it's awesome. Yeah,
it's awesome. Shit. All right, guys.